Hi, it's Marissa from Amicus Creations, and it's been another week, so it's time for another Flosstube video. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, and this is Flosstube number 73. All right. I got another finish. It's not an FFO yet, but I did manage to finish Sally Spencer from Birds of a Feather. So I'm not going to show you what that will look like when it's finished, because I'm going to show you what it looks like finished. Here is the finish. So I stitched this on 40 count Old Massachusetts linen from the Primitive Hare with my own floss conversion that I think when I look at the cover photo is pretty close. The white does show up better in person. It is a white that I dyed with red cabbage, so it's got a slight pink tinge to it. It does get a little ghosty on camera, but it looks good in real life. And I just had to jump right into the stitching today. I'm so excited for this one. It looks so good. It's such a pretty stitch. And with that being done and finished, I am going to give away the pattern. So I love to pass the stash when I'm finished. Just get these extras out of my house. I'm not going to stitch this again. So if you would like to stitch Sally Spencer from Birds of a Feather, please comment the word feather. Please be over 18 because you have to give me your address. Please be in the US. I'm so sorry. Sending stuff internationally is pretty pricey right now, so it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. But if you would like to stitch this, please comment the word feather. Please don't use the words giveaway or win. I want this to go to somebody who really would like to stitch it. This is a reprint of the pattern. I think obviously the originals I think were like cardstock and on a full page. So this is not a like original out of print. This is from the reprint that the Colorado Cross Stitcher did. And I would love for you to be able to stitch that. All right, so we did stitching within the first 5 minutes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for sticking around for a little bit if you're new and seeing if this is your style. I stitch a variety of styles of cross stitch. It is warm here in Maine. We're in officially tank top weather. I'm wearing my gardening shirt. It has little peppers and flowers all over it. I got my garden planted this weekend, and we got a nice soaking of rain afterwards, so it was like absolutely perfect. And then cloudy days, so nothing got fried. We are doing pretty much peppers and flowers this year. I do have one cherry tomato plant, but other than that, we are planting a variety of peppers, sweet and hot. They're one of my favorite things at the end of the season every year, or when it's time to harvest and we have too many. I just dice up those peppers and put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer. They keep really well. I add peppers to a lot of our meals. I make a quinoa salad that has diced bell peppers in it. I add diced bell peppers to our taco meat when I cook it. I add it to my meatballs when I make spaghetti meatballs. I add it to our meatloaf. So having diced peppers on hand that are garden fresh is totally like a extra bonus. We also have a large amount of raspberry bushes, and we have a strawberry bed. So those come back year after year. I don't have to replant those, but this year we did try to simple it, like make it pretty basic, and not things that like are gonna go bad really quickly on the vine, and not things that Mr. Man, our resident local groundhog, is going to eat, because he does like to munch on a lot of things in our garden. He really enjoys the early season crops. So like if I plant broccoli or peas, those usually get munched pretty quickly, faster than we can eat them, faster than we can harvest them. He's out there decimating. We've tried fences. Our neighbors all have a heart traps. We've tried relocating. It is just a losing battle. And so I have decided this year that I'm not going to fight it. And I'm just going to plant things that he doesn't typically go after. And I am going to plant and bulk so that there is stuff for him and stuff for me. And that's just the way it's going to be. I do have one more WIP to show you, and then we are going to talk about my plans, and we're going to kind of do a little reevaluation of sorts. I'm going to show you a bunch of my WIPs. So, but a little bit more life stuff. Life's chugging away. It's busy right now. We are getting into end of school year stuff. The girls have field trips. The girls have meetings. The girls have parties. We've had birthdays for one of my kids and then birthday parties for them to go to and play dates, and everyone's kind of trying to just mash everything into the end of the year. We've had a couple of really rainy days. We've had a couple of really beautiful days. Today it's a little steamy. I am a little bit warm, but I decided to try to do this early and not run my fans. So hence the tank top and the wiping of the face. Yeah, things are good. We are happy. I'm getting stitching done. I've got one more video before it, but I am going to stitch Maine in the first weekend in June. There are still, I think, 2 spots left. So if you are kind of local, it's a 1-day stitch. It's from 9 a.m. to like 5. We have lunches provided. If you're interested in doing that, check out the Daily Stitcher. I think there were 2 spots left. So I think she's still trying to fill those last 2. So you are welcome to sign up through her website and join if you can. It is a really fun, really mellow day of stitching. I am going to be starting Wise and Wonderful there, which is really exciting. I already have that all planned out. I do still need to acquire my flosses, but like I said, I still got like a week and a half. So it should be fine, hopefully. I will be starting that one the same way I started Consider the Lilies, which is starting with the words across the middle. It just really helped me have an anchor to move everything off of and to make sure all my spacing was right, and it just worked out really well that way. So I'm gonna start it that way again, and hopefully it works out really well for me again. All right, the next project I worked on was my full coverage for the week, and I will share again because I do have some new viewers. I try to pick up a different full coverage each week, or at least one full coverage each week. It's not always different sometimes, and I probably will stick with this one for another week. I try to pick up a full coverage each week and get at least 1,000 stitches into it. So I did do that this week. I worked on Mini Which Way by artwork by Molly Harrison. I'll put up a picture of what that looks like here. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I really enjoy her artwork. Molly Harrison's. It's just really beautiful, and it is coming along. So I'll show you what that looked like before I started it. That might be my WIP parade picture. So it'll look a little bit different because this is in my Q-snap now, and I'm not going to take it out until I am finished stitching on it for this rotation. But I added 1,553 stitches over 3 days. So here's what that is looking like. I am now at 14,620 out of 78,325. That is 18.67%. I got the sunflower all filled in for her, and then worked on a bunch of this background fill in up here. I did bring down some colors here, but she's looking really lovely. I really, really love the colors in this project. And I will share because, the stitch list, she was talking about how she's been, on her newer patterns, she's been stitching sort of the way that I stitch, which I think is awesome, when people kind of discover it. And it really does, I feel like it makes me stitch faster. I might be wrong, and it might not make somebody else stitch faster, but it's something to try if you feel like you're kind of moving slow or you're changing colors all the time. And that is to pick a color of floss and then to just stitch it out. Stitch it out to where you're comfortable counting. Stitch it out to, you know, where where it makes you comfortable. And sometimes I still pick up another strand of that same color. So like some of these pinks and background colors, I would pick up a third, a fourth strand of that and just continue to work on that color and not have to dig through my master set and pick out another floss. It does make the items in your stitch kind of show up faster, and I don't know, it's really motivating for me because I'm like, ooh, I want to see more of her hair. Okay, let's go down here and work on more of her hair. I will, once I get like ninja stitches kind of in here, that's when I will kind of typewriter method it, and I'll be like, okay, it's time to take care of some of these stitches, and then I will take care of those stitches and then stitch them out if I can. If not, then I'll grab like another bulk color and kind of start filling it in. This project has an excellent mix of bulk, fill-in, and it's not necessarily confetti, but smaller counts of stitches that are in different areas. But I just love how that sunflower in her hat is looking. And the ribbons are done pretty much, I think. Yeah, the ribbons are completed in her hat. And now we're working on hair, and her face will come in. She's actually looking this way, but it kind of looks like her face is going to come in right there, but it's not. So I need to get a little bit more of that done. Okay, so let's talk about my WIPs, because this is another thing. I was watching, getting comfy over here. I was watching the stitch list, and she is working on all of her WIPs every month. That's her goal. I don't think I can do that. I can't switch projects that much. I like to get like real hefty amounts of stitches into my pieces before I switch them. No way is the right way, but it did inspire me to kind of reevaluate and relook at where I was for the year. And so I want to make sure that I get all of my WIPs touched this year. And then also I joined Year of WIPs. And Year of WIPs is in the group Soulful Stitching, hosted by Melanie Watkins. And you pick at the beginning of the year, I think her minimum, I don't remember what her minimum is, but I picked 12 pieces this year. And if you finish half of them by the end of the year, you get entered into a drawing for a gift card. Now, is that gift card the world's best motivator in the world? No, but like a contest in a group and kind of showing off, you know, what I've been working on is a fantastic motivator for me. So I have been chugging along on those. And then I was like, okay, I should probably look and see, because we're about a month out from a mid-year WIP parade, I should probably look and see what I still haven't touched yet, especially if it's on that list. So I've got a couple stats for you, and then I'm going to show you everything that I have left on my Year of WIPs, because I have now finished 4 out of the 12 of them. So the 4 that I finished were Consider the Lilies. I'll put pictures of my finishes too if I have them. Consider the Lilies, the Cryptid Cell, 324, and Sally Spencer. So you just saw Sally Spencer. So those are all done. So that is 4 of my 12. So I really only need 2 more, but I would like to get some more than that, and we'll kind of talk about why. And then also I started the year with 30 WIPs. I do have more than that now. I haven't finished more than I've started, but we're not too far off. I did UFO 1 project, and then I have touched 13 of them. So I'm just about at halfway. If you take out my UFO, I am at 13 out of 29. So I really only need to touch 2 more to be at halfway at the end of the month. So I figured I would get out my Year of WIPs pieces and see what they look like, where they're at, how close I am to finishing, which ones I haven't touched yet, and just kind of give you a little mini parade before the parade, and see if we can get some work done in this next month before that mid-year WIP parade happens. I typically do my mid-year WIP parade at the end of June, so the end of the 6-month month, because I do my annual WIP parade on the 1st of January. So that gives me exactly 6 months in between. Hopefully the WIP parade, I think I gotta look at when, I didn't look at that. I didn't look at when the 30th of June / 1st of July is. I might do it like that Sunday before. Because I think, let's see, the 3rd is a Friday. The 3rd of July is a Friday. So that means the 2nd is Thursday. The 1st is Wednesday. So maybe we'll do like a June 29th WIP parade. And then we'll still have like a regular Flosstube video that week too. So we'll do a little extra, which will be fun. Okay, so my Soulful Stitching 12, which, so the first one that was on there was Consider the Lilies. That one's done. The next one that's on there is Snug as a Bug by Clouds Factory. So I'll put a picture of what that will look like when it's finished. And in your comments below, can you let me know which of these is your favorite and which one you would like to see worked on the most? Because while I don't like to be told what to do, I am a people pleaser and I would love to stitch on what you want to see. So this is where that is at right now. So this is definitely finishable by the end of the year. And I have not worked on it yet this year. I was supposed to work on this for my own sal, the collector sal, because I was working on pieces that have moths in them. And I didn't work on this one. And so it really does need to come out. And I am excited to work on it when it does. I think this one will definitely be able to be finished this year. I would love to work on this one a little bit, but you're gonna hear me say that a few times because these are all pieces that I want finished. That's why they're on my year of WIPs. They are pieces that have been in my rotation for a little bit. They are pieces that are finishable and that it's time to get them off. All right, then the next piece that's on there I have worked on this year and you have seen is New Shoots by Emma Congden. I sometimes call it spring bulbs, but picture. And then here's where it's at. So I took this one on our April vacation and I worked on it actually quite a bit for vacation stitching. It also, that back stitch it's a lot, and there's a lot of back stitch in this piece, but I did get a lot done. So I am happy with how it's looking. This is on Celadon by Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's a little bit greener than it shows up on camera, but I really also like this stitch, but it's not priority as of yet just because I have already stitched on it this year. And so I do want to try to prioritize the ones I haven't worked on yet. And then 2 of them are seasonal stitches, which I probably won't touch until closer to those seasons. One is Thanksgiving and one is Christmas, and you will see. But yeah, so so if you vote for those, you might not get your way. But if lots of you vote for those, I guess maybe you will. Next is Fish and Ships from Long Dog Samplers. Now I have stitched on this one already this year, but I'd be willing to pick this one up again in a heartbeat. So here's what this will look like when it's done. It is one of the smaller Long Dog samplers, but there are either 3 already out or all 4 of them are already out that are like in the same vein and would look really wonderful all together on the same wall. So let's get this one done first though before we start the other one. So this is where this is at. And I am around the 50% mark, maybe a little bit above. This is on 40 count frozen fractals from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Steph and is stitched with the Silks4U silk, which is listed below in the description box. So that is Fish and Ships, and that is also on the list to try to finish this year. Again, doable, definitely needs work, but like I said, I like to put in large chunks of stitches when I pick up a project. So getting a bunch of stitches into that is like not out of the question. All right, then this one, and another reason I wanted to do this little blurb with you today is because also Sarah at I Swear I'm Stitching showed this one. This is Dreaming of Klimt from Barbara Anna. I'll show you what this looks like here when it's done. She actually put in a big chunk of progress on hers. I started this with Sarah, I Swear I'm Stitching, and Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. This is also on a Forbidden Fiber Co fabric, 32 count, and this is called Woodland. And that is what I have done. So this does need a lot of work to get to the finish line, but it is also not a giant pattern. It's big-ish, but not unwieldy. So we could get that done. All right, and then the next one that was on my list was 324. That is complete. Show you what that looked like when I finished it off. And I absolutely love that. I'm really happy that that one is finished. It did take a bit of work to get it done, but it is done. And then is one of my seasonal stitches that I was speaking of. So this is Be Thankful. It's either Little Needle House or Country Cottage. I think it's Country Cottage, but a picture there. And here's where that's at. So this needs a bit more work. I am eliminating some of the design aspects on this one, so it won't take as long. It's on a 40 count ale from Picture This Plus. And yeah, little white pumpkins. It says Be Thankful. It'll be nice to be able to have it up around Thanksgiving. I don't have a lot of Thanksgiving I don't have any Thanksgiving stitches complete. I have 2 WIPs, that's one of them. The other one is Turkey Bay from Plum Street Samplers. All right, and then we have another seasonal stitch. This is Mary 2 from Plum Street Samplers. I'll put a picture up of that, what it looks like when it will be done. And this one I got the little kit for it, so it's being stitched in all of the called for colors, and then it's being stitched on a 32 count witch hilt. And that is where that is at. And I have not touched this one yet this year either. So it needs a little bit of love. But again, I'm not maybe Christmas in July actually. So probably not before my mid-year WIP parade, but maybe in July it will see some stitches. Maybe we'll get a Christmas in July thing kind of going. All right, next on there was the Cryptid Sal, which is done and framed. Here it is right here. And then we have Medicine and Poison from the Witchy Stitcher. Now, there is a Witchy Stitcher Sal going on right now, and I also went on a little bit of a Witchy Stitcher shopping spree. So, in my Witchy Stitcher shopping spree last month, I bought the new, what's it called? It's something familiar. It's the cat in the window, so I'll show that to you. I bought the Black Pearl, and I bought Live Laugh Lobotomy. Now, I have been really itching to pick one of those up and start it, but I have 2 Witchy Stitcher patterns going. One is the Moth one from her book that I started for my collector sale in March. And the other is this. So this is Medicine and Poison. And this is where this is at. That is a great representation of the fabric right now. Now it's not. So this is where this is at. And I would like to finish it. It's a lot of stitching, but it also goes fairly quickly. And again, I like to put a chunk of stitches in when I get working on something. So it is very doable to get it finished by the end of the year. Is it doable to get it finished before I actually start another Witchy Stitcher project? Probably not. Probably not. But if I can get myself to the halfway mark on this, I might treat myself with a witchy stitcher start. I was actually thinking about starting the black pearl just by the end of the month for the witchy stitcher like May sale that's happening, but I think instead I might pick this up. But again, tell me which projects you are really wanting to see. I want to see those comments on, and let me know like what you think I really should, what you really want to see, not what I should, what you want to see. I want to people please at the moment. I am in that mode. All right, and then the last, oh, and then Sally Spencer was next on the list, and so that one is done. I just showed it to you. And then last on the list is this little needle book from fresh from the garden from Country Cottage Needleworks. I call it A Stitch in Time because that's what it says on it. And I was stitching this at carpool pickups, but my carpool pickups went away when I started my second job for the summer season. So this is where that's at, and I guess I need to find another time that I'm going to stitch on this, because this is definitely finishable. It is not a giant stitch. It is very small. It is probably more than halfway done, especially with that big tomato in there completed. Like, come on, lady, let's do this. So, all right, again, thank you for joining me. I know this one was a little bit speedy. I did not get good sleep last night, so I am here. Fake it till you make it, right? I'm here, and I'm here with you because I just love coming to you every week and showing you my stitching and interacting with your comments, and it makes me so happy. So I would love for you to comment the word feather if you are wanting to stitch the Sally Spencer pattern. I am a little slow at getting giveaways out, but they do go out, I promise. And I am, so feather if you want to stitch Sally Spencer, and then let me know which of those 12 you would really like to see get some work in June, and maybe even the end of May. I think the Witchy Stitcher one's gonna go on for end of May stitching. But we still have Lola Crow's Museum After Midnight that has to get work on it, because I think the first release comes out in a week and a half. So I must work on that, but I think this will get a little bit of love too. And I think I'm finally rounding out like my sleep situation from the new job, or the secondary job, and so hopefully things will just start to be better and I will have more stitching time at night. But we had a rainy day last weekend, which is why I got so many stitches in on my full coverage and why I was able to finish Sally Spencer. I know I have some more rainy days coming, so Stitchorama, right? All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so yet. I would love to see you here week after week, catching up, and let me know what you were stitching on while you watched. I hope you have a fantastic stitchy week, and I will see you next week. Bye.